On item 16.
Item number 16 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This is the public's opportunity to speak on an item that is not scheduled on today's agenda. And Madam Chair, I'm aware of several people signing in to speak and one person that would like to be called online.
Okay, fantastic. We will go ahead and ask you to come down, and please do try to kind of queue up down here so that we can move in between the speakers, and please do make sure to sign in and state your name for the record. You will have 3 minutes.
Is this on? All right. Hi. Good afternoon, I guess it is, right? My name is Skip Hafner. I've been a long-term resident of the northwest side of Colorado Springs for going on 29 years now. It's hard to believe. So I don't know if this is a little belated, but Happy New Year to all. I think some of you have seen me speak before. And hello to our newcomers. Congratulations, Commissioner Applegate, Commissioner Wysong. I'm here in support of the community on the northwest side of town regarding the library services that were taken away from us in December of 2024. That was the PPLD Board of Trustees shut down the Rockrimmon Library after 35 years of providing library services to us in the community. We've been left with a gaping hole from those services. right? And we've had to create a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're in the process of attempting to reestablish those services based on community funding. We're no longer under the Pikes Peak Library District. And those services have been taken away. Commissioner Wysong, I've heard that you have supported our cause, and for that, you have our deepest thanks. This year, we'll be asking you guys to take a serious look at the Pikes Peak Library District Board of Trustees members. We have trustees members that have voted against keeping the Rockrimmon Library open after that 35 years, okay? This is one of the busiest libraries in the group, one of the highest circulations in the group, and one of the most efficient libraries in the group from a financial perspective. So they have chosen to close that without providing us replacement benefits or even a plan of what they're going to do next to return those services. So we are trying to rebuild them ourselves as a community when that's their charter. So we'll be asking you to really take a look at some of the board members and look into board members that will support not closing libraries except as an absolute last resort. We'll also be here throughout the year asking you to possibly remove board members that have voted against the community libraries as we have it. So I look forward to talking to you guys more. I'm out of my 3 minutes, but thank you for your time. Happy New Year, and we'll be seeing you more.
Okay, our next speaker.
Hello, my name is Veronica Baker. I'm a Rockrimmon resident. I've been up here a number of times to speak to the commissioners, and today I see some new faces up here, and I'd like to welcome you and thank you for your commitment and dedication to public service. Commissioner Wysong, we're very excited to see you. We're very excited to see you on the dais, and we have seen you at meetings encouraging our efforts to save our library, and it means a lot to our community. I'm a part of a group that organized quickly in response to the questionable closure of Rockrimmon Library. Originally, we rallied under the name Save Rockrimmon Library, but I am proud to tell you that we are now COS Reads, a 501c3 organization. We are not only concerned about the hasty and suspicious decision to close our library, we are concerned about the suggested closures of Ruth Hawley and Cheyenne Mountain Library branches. We know that you are in the process of selecting a new board member for PPLD, and I'd like to call your attention to the problem we've been seeing for the last 4 appointments. The word I'm going to use here is cronyism, which is defined as the appointments of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard to their qualifications. Commissioner Geithner, when you selected your next door neighbor, Aaron Bentz, as an appointment to a board, it really brings concerns regarding cronyism. We can't see any appropriate qualifications for stewardship, financial background, leadership. In fact, if you go onto the PPLD Board of Trustees website, the bio is blank and has been since 2022 for Aaron Bentz. Until now, there has been no set criteria from which to evaluate PPLD board members. And many citizens can see that this lack of criteria creates a tremendous problem for fair appointments. I urge you to do your homework. Download a copy of the PPLD's Board of Trustees official position description. It is online on their website. Ask Nancy Hingham for a copy of the assessment rubric she and the city council members use to assess the candidates' qualifications quantitatively. This rubric measures the candidates' qualifications, eliminating the opportunity for a personality contest. Keep a watchful eye on cronyism. Like you, we are a group of citizens deeply committed to our community and public services that enrich it. We want to safeguard these resources for not only our community, but also for others that are in danger of losing theirs. Furthermore, we support and encourage the growth of libraries in places that are underserved currently. We don't need to take away a 35-year-old library many depend on to accomplish these tasks. We encourage you, the Board of County Commissioners, to help us restore balance in the Board of Trustees and restore people's trust in the Pikes Peak Library District. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else who'd like to speak on an item not on the agenda?
Good morning, County Commissioners. My name is Gavin Rainey, a resident of County Commission District 1 and your constituent Vice Chair Williams. I want to take the opportunity to say welcome and congratulations to the new commissioners. Over the period of your term, you'll be hearing a lot from me. I just came from City Council where I made this same speech I'm about to make, so I don't think I will trip over my words as much as I did over there. I am a lifetime resident of Colorado Springs and also a lifetime resident of Academy School District 20, a district I was enrolled in for 13 years. Still today, I have coworkers and close friends who attend schools within this district. I also served on the ASD 20 District Technology Advisory Committee for the 2024 session. I inform you of this because I want to make evident that I have deep ties and deep interest in the success of the ASD 20 community. I know some here and many throughout the county are dismayed at the closure of the Rock Rimmon Library by the Pikes Peak Library District Board of Trustees. And I am here today to speak not to just the Board of County Commissioners, but to the citizens I just described. The community was given many reasons why the library would close, and they in return provided solutions, yet the board decided to go forward with the closure. Business experts and financial analysts have said the decision made no sense, yet the board decided to go forward with the closure once again. And I want to be clear here, when I say board, I mean the Board of Trustees and not you, the Board of County Commissioners. I want to thank the elected officials who have spoken out on this issue. They are all good examples. They are all good examples of elected officials who earnestly lead, but one elected official who has done the exact opposite is Aaron Salt, the president of the ASD 20 Board of Education, who also happens to be on the PPLD Board of Trustees. Aaron Salt, by deciding to close the Rock Rimmon Library not once but twice, misled the public and betrayed their trust. Now Aaron Salt is up for re-election this year. If we know he has acted unethically on the PPLD Board of Trustees, how do we know that he will govern in good faith on the ASD 20 Board of Education, or that he has at all in his first term? If you like closing libraries, betraying and misleading the public, then please by all means support his re-election if he decides to do so. Vote for him even, but otherwise I urge all those listening to place their trust in someone else for the ASD 20 Board of Education, someone who won't act as untrustworthy as Aaron Salt has. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda?
My name is Catherine Chukas. I'm a Rock Rimmon resident, a Waldo Canyon evacuee, and I've been in the county for 15 years. Many of the existing commissioners know me well from prior public comments in 2023. I have a deep perspective about residents in El Paso County and what their elected representation should be like. But there's two of you I've never met before, so welcome. Unlike the November elections where all residents can vote, where Academy School District 20 residents voted for career education with the passage of Initiative 4B and its investment in Air Academy High School, it's different with other aspects of government. Only 14 people decide the leadership of the Pikes Peak Library District. And I'm here on behalf of the Save Rock Rimmon Library COS Reads Group, and we've been speaking here today and also at City Council. As you may know, as of January 1st, PPLD has no presence in Rock Rimmon. We don't even have a bookmobile coming to the northwest side of Colorado Springs. And this is a shame given that the nearest school, Eagleview Middle School, has the highest rate of choice into it probably in the entire county. And it will likely win Best of the Springs for middle schools again, as it has in the past. We know right now that this commission is taking the appointment of a new member of PPLD Board of Trustees seriously. There are many, many highly qualified individuals with impressive backgrounds in running large organizations with multi-million-dollar budgets and multi-million dollars in reserves that they know how to spend wisely. We know that you can find a person to appoint to the board who would only close libraries as a last resort. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I understand we had maybe someone online? Oh, okay. Alrighty, so we will move on to item 17.
Item number 17 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 18.
Item number 18 is department and committee reports, non-action items. 18A, Annexation Impact Report, Carmen Line Edition number 1 through 6. Acknowledgement of an annexation impact report for the Carmen Line Edition number 1 through 6 annexation. Pursuant to state statute, the Board of County Commissioners does not approve or deny an annexation impact report. The report provided by the City of Colorado Springs notifies the county of the annexation request and describes potential impacts in very general terms. The property consists of 1,912.62 acres and is zoned RR5 Rural Residential. The property is located near the northwest corner of Bradley Road and Curtis Road. Parcel numbers 45000000135, 091, 134, 454, 326, and 269. Commissioner District Number 4, File ANX 249, Justin Kilgore, Planning Manager, Planning and Community Development.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Before you, as Jackie was saying, is the Carmen Line Annexation Impact Report. Ms. Kylie Bagley and Daniel Torres were your staff on this project. And I'd like to say for the public input, if you're watching remotely and have not provided a name and reliable phone number, would like to comment, please email that information to pcdhearings@elpasoco.com. So the request for this is a acknowledgement of an annexation impact report for the Carmen Line annexations, numbers 1 through 6. It was 1 through 7, but they took one of them out. Pursuant to state statute, the Board of County Commissioners does not approve or deny an annexation impact report, nor does the Board of County Commissioners support or oppose annexation requests. However, staff can take your recommendations to City Council, and this would go to the City Council of Colorado Springs. The report that's provided is a very preliminary basic report that they give us, and we analyze that due to our criteria. This property is approximately 1,900 acres, it's zoned RR5. It's on the northwest corner of Bradley Road and Curtis Road, and it is scheduled to go before the City Council today. I believe just a few moments, actually. I believe you all actually have this before you as well. I can move along. There are standards for review of an annexation impact report in the Land Development Code. Here you'll see an aerial with the subject property. The long flag that you see there coming from Banning Lewis Ranch is Bradley Road. There are approximately 3.34 miles of Bradley Road in this annexation, and that's what gets this to contiguity.
So
Here-
does that make it a flagpole annexation? Are there any city-owned properties along that line?
Let me see if I can't go back with this.
That's okay.
No, ma'am, I don't believe so. I think Bradley Road is the connection.
Thank you.
Complete. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Torres is here to answer any questions if you may have, and I can answer any questions.
Is the city taking over Bradley Road in that part? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
that's the important thing. Thank you.
Commissioner Applegate.
It is a flagpole annexation, correct? Yeah, that's what I
Yes,
thought.
sir.
And then also,
They're
oh.
using the road. Yes, sir.
okay, yeah, and then we know 94 is a state highway. Is the developer or anybody from like Springs, have they reached out to, say, like the state, like CDOT, or any possible like improvements with that road, with that highway? I know we have to ask before we can even look at it, but
I believe that would come to us later.
okay, so it'd be a later step.
Daniel, would you mind? I believe engineering would have had those conversations with
Okay.
CDOT, sir.
Right.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Madam Chair. Daniel Torres with Department of Public Works. As Justin said, as development plans come in, they will be required to do traffic studies, and that's with the city side. We will have a chance to review those traffic studies through our process as an outside agency. Typically during that time is when CDOT gets involved, because if there's enough impact, CDOT will require an access permit from the development.
Okay, perfect. I know that was a concern for some of the residents down there. So obviously, the two easiest ways to get there is off of Bradley, and then the use of 94. So everybody that works, say, north of there is going to use 94.
Correct.
To get near,
Yeah, and
Right.
with those traffic studies, it'll identify the distribution of traffic depending on which area of the development comes in first.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Okay.
But I had
Any
another
additional questions?
Go ahead, Commissioner
one.
Applegate.
Okay. So I have one more. There's a reservoir near that area, correct? Near that development, near it, right?
Believe so.
Okay. About how far away is that?
That I'm not sure.
Okay. Might be. I think it was.
There's
'cause I
a
remember I
few
was looking-
drainage basins, but I know I believe there's supposed to be a reservoir. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Big Johnson, somebody just said.
I can look up the name for that for you, sir, and get
Okay.
back to you if you like.
Okay. And the main thing is too is like distancing, because I know the residents had talked about like some kind of easement there, whether for conservation or possibly say like utilities, things like that. So I know they want to keep it a distance. They don't want to be right up on that.
Yeah, it might be the Callahan Reservoir.
Are you speaking to, I'm sorry, Megan Harrington, Planning Director, are you speaking to the future utilities reservoir that's not yet there? Because I believe the Gary Bostrom Reservoir is in that specific area, and that may be the closest soon-to-be reservoir that is along Bradley Road.
Oh, okay. And there's no water in that currently?
I don't know the status of the Gary Bostrom Reservoir and how that I can't answer you, but that is
Okay.
the utility reservoir because there is a city utility site along Bradley.
Okay.
I'll just that a lot of what we're talking about, I think, comes more into play with an actual development, not so much on the annexation. Is that accurate?
Yes, we will see a lot more of that information with future phases of the development because this is 1,900 acres and it's so large. There's a very general land use plan that runs through the city planning office. They have the big picture, traffic study, master drainage report, and then they'll have to come in with phases of the development. And with those phases, we'll get additional information. Taking a step back, just so you understand a little more fully what our process is, even though we're presenting this general annexation impact report here to you today, the city gives us, and all municipalities really, give us the information ahead of time. So we've seen this months ago as a outside agency review. And then we comment on all of the technical documentation as it moves through the city's review process. And then right at the end, they are required to submit us the annexation impact report, which we bring before you. So that kind of backs up that we have seen more information, and that's the typical process with the future filings and phases, is that we will see the more detailed phase information as it moves forward.
Additional questions? Commissioner Weissong.
Just wanted to clarify, Blake, could you bring up the last photo or the last slide, please? I apologize, I couldn't quite hear, but is this being a flagpole annexation? Is that what I heard? Because
Yes,
there's
sir.
no additional city property there?
No, sir, there's not. Bradley Road's the connection.
Okay, and then what was the comment about the reservoir? Is that's along in that same area?
I believe it may be a future reservoir, sir.
My speaker wasn't working, so I did miss some of that.
I could be mistaken, but I thought the future utilities site of the Gary Bostrom Reservoir was out in this general area as part of their overall utility infrastructure, but there are no city-owned properties as part of this annexation. They are attaching with Bradley Road, and they do that in 6 annexation plats, which makes it the serial annexation, which they're building the 1/6 contiguity as they move down Bradley Road to grab the larger property. But if you're interested in seeing where the specific utility facilities are or city-owned properties in the vicinity, we'd have to look those up and get a better map for you, which we can certainly do if you're interested in that information.
Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions? Okay. I think I'll just ask my final, if there are any areas of concern that you think have not been taken into account from the county's perspective in terms of future impacts to roads or anything that we feel like is left out of this annexation.
A few in here. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, that is always a good thing to hear that those have been worked out before this came to us. Ms. Harrington, did you have something you wanted to add?
I just wasn't sure if Commissioner Wysong wanted to see a map of the properties around there that would pinpoint the city properties a little bit more, because I don't know. I know they're generally in this vicinity, but we would need a couple minutes if that's something that staff needs to bring up. So I don't know if
I would just ask
need to see that or
if
not.
that is something, I think maybe we could get it to you afterwards as well, and then that way you'd have it, but I don't think that it doesn't sound like it's necessary for direction on this item today, so. Okay, so with that, one last opportunity, Commissioner Applegate.
I wanted, to ask also about, so I know there's a fire station near there off of Drennan. Is it Drennan? Or Bradley? There's a fire station there. What about police presence in that area? And I know CSPD, I know that, they have to go out and patrol like everybody else, but does the city have adequate plans for that? Because one of my concerns is we as the county, especially when they first start building out there, would end up responding more than, say, a CSPD.
I'm not really sure the quickness with which CSPD is going to be servicing that, sir.
Okay.
I'm sure you're correct. I'm sure the sheriff will be pulled in on some calls.
I
can
Right.
find out where the.
If I could just, I'm looking over at our county attorney because I believe that with an annexation, CSPD would be required to serve this area.
Madam Chair, that is correct. That would be CSPD's responsibility. I can't really speak to actual capacity though. And CSFD as well.
As to where the closest station is, sir, I can look that up and find it for you.
Okay, thank you. I would appreciate that. And like I said, I understand. I know it's a patrol thing. Cops don't sit there and twiddle their thumbs in the office all day. I mean, obviously they go out and patrol, but what would be their response times if they have somebody near that area or not near that area? So, thank you.
Okay. All right, seeing no additional questions or comments, I think direction is received on this item. Do we have anything else?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Item 19.
Number 19 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 20.
Item 20 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of our agenda. This meeting is adjourned.